Hey guys, and welcome back to Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. It is time for the third and final part of the Platinum Relic runs, and it is time for the big boys. We begin with Crash and Burn. So this one's kind of strict. That's the main issue with it. Otherwise, this one isn't really too bad. The annoying part is just the level's quite long, so if you fail right at the end, which is very easy to do, which is exactly what I did, you do have to then go back through a good portion of the level. You've also got to hope that the clock is actually there, because every now and then the clock doesn't appear or it just randomly disappears. I think it only happens if you off-screen it. But it only sometimes happens if you off-screen it. But because the clock is all the way up here, I think the game sometimes just thinks, okay, they're not going to get it, so we're just going to get rid of it. So it doesn't always load in, or it's either not loaded in or it's disappeared before I get there. One or the other, I don't know. But on quite a few occasions I've got there, and the clock is just gone. There's no clock, so all I can do is then just kill myself and hope that the clock is going to be there again afterwards. That's the biggest issue with Crash and Burn. Otherwise, this level is really not that big of a deal. Despite the fact that we're on the side of an erupting volcano. But Crash seems to have no issues with that. I mean, let's face it, I'm sure Crash has been through much worse. All I can say is it's a good thing that none of these falling fiery rocks are going to come down and hit us. Well, for once, the Death Tornado Spin is actually useful in a time trial. That doesn't happen very often. Usually I would say don't use the Death Tornado Spin because it slows you down. Yay, look at this invincibility that I can abuse. I always end up getting invincibility there, but I can't do anything with it. Yeah, as you can see, we're almost at the end already. This level's really not that big of an issue. This was a level that... This is where I started finding the levels on my first playthrough. I just wasn't able to get any relic, not even the sapphire, just by running through it without the species. Because what I used to do is I would complete the level, then do the time trial. I would either complete the level and do the time trial, or I would complete the chamber and then do the time trial. So it'd be one or the other. And this and Gold Rush, I just couldn't do it. I mean, this is way, way back over 10 years ago, so... If not 15 years ago, so... I could be completely wrong now. I might be able to go into these levels and get the Sapphire Relic, but... Why would I do that when I also have some speed shoes? And when in this game, I always go for the Platinums. Because I do. I will always Platinum this game. Every single playthrough. Because I can do it. If I can do it, why not do it? Even if I get absolutely nothing for it. All you need is the sapphires. You don't even get a special gem for getting all the gold relics in this game. You just need the sapphires to complete it. Even then, well, okay, you get a bit. You get 5 extra levels. Well, 4 extra levels and something else. Which we'll see later on, because I did decide... I wasn't sure how to showcase the final levels, so we are going to see them in time trial mode first. And then we're going to go through them normally. Right. This level. So many issues do I have with this level. Firstly, I highly recommend, just to make things a little bit easier at the beginning, if you don't have it yet, hit the clock and then just run up to that Aku Aku crate and then hit restart trial. Because again, unlike Crash 3, you don't lose Aku Aku when you hit the clock. So you can just keep restarting and then you can get Invincible Aku Aku, which you're going to want as much as you can here, because while he doesn't increase your running speed, it does allow you to just like run through nitro crates or just run through the enemies, and that just makes things go at a slightly faster pace. So I do recommend actually trying to use Invincible Aku Aku as much as you can, because if you do have 2 Aku Akus at the beginning, you can get invincibility quite a lot on this level. Anyway, this is the annoying part, because for several reasons. Firstly, all the amount of times you have to hang on those things. Secondly, make sure you don't accidentally hit that thing from below, or you're going in the water. But of course there's also just a matter of the speed you go on this thing, and you stop when you try and spin on it. Then you gotta hope when you land down there that you're actually going to move forwards, which a lot of the time Crash doesn't like to do, and he'll just run in place for no reason, wasting your time. And then just mash that button, just mash the jump button, so you can go as fast as you can on this thing. It's surprising how quickly this thing actually goes. I mean, I don't know how quickly those things could actually go in real life, but there, that one can go pretty quickly. I can never tell the placement of this scorpion. There are quite a few times where I've jumped, but because I'm trying to get maximum distance, I end up not getting enough height. So I recommend slide jumping to try and reach those things if you also want to keep moving. Slide into there, get more invincibility. And then we can get it again here. I think there was one game where if you get the invincibility whilst you're invincible, it doesn't reset it. Actually, I think it's the Insane Trilogy, unless Crash redid it as well. I want to say it was the Insane Trilogy. Or was it? Or maybe it was Crash. Was it It's About Time? There's definitely one game where you get the invincibility, grab another one, but it doesn't carry on. Or I should say it does carry on, but it doesn't, like, reset. Look at all these invincibility. Like, they want you to become invincible in this level. Not that I can really make much use of it here. Because this is exciting. Wasn't even able to get to the scorpion in time. This is actually where I got hurt by one of these guys. Yeah, the exploding dynamite isn't actually what hurts you. It's the dynamite coming out of the ground that hurts you with these guys. They actually got hurt by him. And there we go. Yeah, if you can make good use of all your invincibilities without having to stop and spin into things and stuff like that, you can actually save yourself quite a few seconds. Like, I did that in like 1:24 or something. The Platinum Relic is 1:30. So, when you know that you can like use invincibility in that way, just make as much use of it as you can. Try not... Well, I mean, getting stuck on nothing in the mining section is completely luck-based, but otherwise... you can finish the level with quite a bit of time to spare. As you can see, I was 5 seconds over the first time round. This one, on the other hand, is one that I never know exactly what the best strategy is, because you have to do quite a bit of waiting in this level. And that could... Well, you don't really want to wait when you're in the middle of a speed run. But you kind of have to for this one. Unless you get lucky, which I very rarely do. What you can do is just wait for a platform to come up or come down. I mean, Bamboozled had the same issue. In fact, I think Bamboozled had it worse. This is not as hard as Bamboozled. And of course, you do have that maze section at the end. And because it gets rid of all the Wumpa Fruit in the level, you have to now complete that maze section without the Wumpa Fruit guiding you. And of course, there's the issue that somebody at Traveller's Tales really loved Nitro Crates. Again, there's so many of them in this game. Especially in this level. There are so many Nitro Crates in this level. I mean, that seems to be the case with a lot of the Atmosphere levels. They're just filled to the brim with Nitro Crates. But having a giant wheel hit you is completely fine. Come on, Crash. Get up that hill. It's always the annoying thing. I mean, it's so slow to go uphill, but at the same time, that makes sense. Because the physics on this thing are actually really good. There are a few times where I question how Crash is able to go up certain things. When it's like, yeah, gravity should really be kicking in right now, but no, somehow I... Yeah, stuff like that. Like, usually I'm able to get up here while the platform is going downwards. Wasn't able to do that here. But there are times where Crash is right on the edge of something, and it's clearly more of the atmosphere is going down than up. But somehow I'm still able to roll up the slope. Or roll up the corner, not even a slope. But I'm still perfectly fine. And I can get up there. I don't know how Crash is able to do that, but he is. See, this is waiting around for a lot of things. I mean, I think all of these boxes are 3-second boxes, so it's worth the wait. But really, it just feels like all those time boxes are doing are just making up for the time that you had to waste in order to get up there in the first place. So with that, what's the point? Alright, you want to make sure you clear this thing correctly. You don't have the Wumpa Fruit to guide you anymore. So I hope you've got a good memory. It's either that or a trial and error. And make sure that you remember, because I fell off right there thinking that was where I had to go, but no, there was just a slight little extra turn that I had to make. Oh no, I missed the thing. I missed the time box. We're okay. Go down here, and there we go. I don't know if at the other end there are time boxes or not, or if it's just the same as what it normally looks like. But I don't know why you bother when you can just go straight down. So why would you even look? Yeah, that one overall isn't too bad. You get a bit worried with the stop and go, but thankfully the time trial is like, they worked around that. So for the most part, that level really isn't that big of an issue. I still say Bamboozled is the hardest one. Assuming you remember where that pit is in Eskimo Roll. Crate Balls of Fire. Compared to Droid Void, this one is much, much easier. The only issue I have with this level is right at the end, where I have failed many, many, many times. But that is almost exclusively my fault. So it is kind of annoying. Again, it can be the make it or break it section. It's like, will you do it? Will you not do it? Why am I standing still here? I don't know what that was about. I mean, you still have to do this at the beginning, but thankfully this doesn't take nearly as long as Droid Void. So somebody decided they really like the monkey bar sections. So let's just put them everywhere at the end of the game for no particular reason. So we're going to introduce them in Droid Void, then we're going to put them in Weathering Heights, and Gold Rush, and Crate Balls of Fire. It's like, why? Because if I remember correctly, in Crash 2 and 3, they were found exclusively in one type of level. In Crash 2, they were in the sewer levels. In Crash 3, they were in the Arabian levels. So why are they everywhere here? I mean, this is the same theme as Droid Void, so I get it, but why put them in Weathering Heights and Gold Rush? Why put them there at all with how utterly ridiculously slowly you go? Alright, so the main reason why this level is just better than Droid Void is because all you're really doing is just running away from fire. Just make sure you don't run into the enemies, which I think I did do at some point. Or I ran into something. But it's not like you really need a like Aku Aku for this, because the mech just breaks the boxes anyway. I'm pretty sure I should have fallen down that pit, but whatever. I make no complaints if it helps me avoid death. So I can't exactly use this invincibility, can I? As you can see, the fire does not activate that switch box, but one of the boxes is already there. I don't know why that one isn't just an outline box as well, but for some reason it isn't. I love how the enemies get hit by the massive chasing hazard, like the fire, and it still just has that bullet ricochet sound. And they just like get launched away, as if you spun into them. See how much easier this is? But this is the annoying part. Well, it's two reasons. Firstly, you've got to hope that these things haven't... Usually I get here right as those things have spun back round, and then I have to wait forever for them to go back into position again, in which case I've probably missed out on the platinum. The other is this part. That jump is deceptively easy to not get. And this one. When you want to also get that time box, it's quite easy to actually misjudge that jump. At least it's quite easy for me to misjudge that jump. There we go. Spent God knows how long on Droid Void. Crate Balls of Fire, first try. You see, I really don't care about the naming thing. Yeah, Crate Balls of Fire. It is a complete non-issue compared to Droid Void. I hate Droid Void so much. And it's not because you don't... At no point anywhere do I have to use that freaking bazooka. All I have to do is just run and jump. That's all I have to do. And don't have to worry about that bazooka. That completely non-working bazooka. You know what? Why can't the mech just be that fire extinguisher one? That can still break boxes, can't it? Just shoot them with a lot of water. Way to go, Chris. You got my shirt wet. Right, this one, however, the main issue with Cortex Vortex is just that this level, it's just that the time limit is really strict for this one. A lot of the time you will only just about make it. Because unlike Medieval Madness, there are a few stop and go sections, mainly with these things, like right here. But the time hasn't been quite fitted with it. I guess it's the best term I can think of, which is probably the wrong term. You're going to want to try and see if you can either jump over those guys, which you can very easily do with a double jump, or to keep the momentum going a little bit better, try and jump either on top of them or spin into them. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I still get pushed back, even when I'm clearly landing on top of them. But usually it works. That is just about big enough for me to jump over. Again, you're not going to be able to reach that time crate just by hitting the TNT boxes, so make sure you jump into that one or spin into it, bounce off the TNT, however you want to get it, but that's the only way you're going to get it. I always kind of have a feel that those electric gates have a slightly enlarged hitbox, but it might just be me. I probably am just ever so slightly touching it. Now run! Run to the end! This is a lot more exciting in Crash 3. But it seems like now we have to have that sort of thing in every level. Crash 1 and 2 didn't have it, but Crash 3 onwards does. Yeah, it's quite a strict one, that one. I only just about made that. On the World Wide Web, apparently. But without the dot. Okay, so even though I haven't actually showcased them yet, like gotten all the gems, broken all the boxes and all that, just for the sake of having all of the Platinum Relic videos in a row, we are now going to go straight into the extra levels, despite the fact that I haven't showcased them off yet. So we're going to see the time trial first, and then we're going to go into the main levels. Well, I feel like I should save this for the next video in some way, but there are things that I like about these levels, and there are things that I don't like about these levels. Let's start with the things that I like. Number one, actually I have no idea. I don't like these levels very much. I was just trying to think. Number one, wait, that sounds pretty dumb now. I just had things in mind, and now they have completely gone. Okay, number one, some of the time trials for these levels are very easy. In fact, I'd say this is the hardest one. Along with the fourth one, the others are incredibly easy. The main issues with these levels, though, and number two, none of them are just hidden entrances to other levels. They're all, well, I say all, they're somewhat original. There's clearly one exception, because I don't know about you guys, something about this level looks very familiar. But the other levels are all something that we haven't seen in this game before. Yeah, they still might reuse a gimmick. We still have a snowboarding level. We still have a copter pack level. We still have an atmosphere level. We have a minecart level. In fact, this is the only one where you're on foot. Not counting the beginning and the end of the last level, this is the only level where you're actually on foot. Which I know is nothing new with Wrath of Cortex. But yeah, otherwise, I have my problems with these levels. In fact, it's mainly because they are all so simple. That's just it. They're so simple. When you think, in Crash 3, what did you get? One of them was just a secret entrance to one of the Arabian levels, and that, just to get the yellow gem. That was pointless. I don't know why that was there. One was the hidden entrance to Future Frenzy, which then caused the whole backtracking issue, which I hated so much. But at least there was more to it. There was at least quite a big section of level back there. And the other three were new levels. They were some of the most annoying levels in the game. You know, we had Hot Cocoa. We had Area 51 question mark. And Actually, there was 2 jet ski levels in that secret area, and the other one was ski crazed. And yeah, that one was kind of annoying, just because of how long it was. But otherwise, Crash 3, I didn't mind it too much. Here, each level is its own thing, but they're all so ridiculously easy, it makes you feel like there was barely any effort placed into it. In fact, in one level, you don't have to put any effort into it. You can literally... This next level we're doing right now, obviously you have to move to get the box gem, but otherwise, you don't have to do anything in this level. Ghost Town, you Crash wins by doing absolutely nothing. You don't even need to hold forward on the minecart. You can win the race by doing absolutely nothing. There's no boss fight in this arena, so I guess that's why we have to race Crunch. You've got 3 different directions to go in at the beginning, and then a few other moments where the timer is going to... where the path goes into 2. But you see how many time crates there are. Along with Smokey and the Bandicoot, this is the easiest Platinum Relic in the entire game. No excuses to not get the Platinum on this level. Gold. If you've got the Gold Relic, what are you doing? You're clearly just deliberately missing these boxes on purpose, because otherwise you have no excuse not to get the Platinum Relic in this level. It is that easy. I don't know how I'm breaking the box above that one. I'm not even touching it, but whatever. Same here. No, Crash actually hit that one. It can get a little bit annoying trying to get the box gem, especially in this part, but otherwise, this level is ridiculously easy. Or you're like me, and I don't know if I'll show it off in the next part. There were 2 levels whilst doing these, 2 of these secret levels, where I went right past the Nitro Switch box. And I don't know I can't remember how I did it here. But I leaned to the side and went right over the Nitro Switch box, had to exit and start again. And I did it in another level as well. It's like I got all the boxes. Hardest box gem in the entire game. Did it all. Broke all the boxes on my first try. Proceeds to go right past the Nitro Switch box, thinking it's an actual Nitro crate, and then realizing right at the end, oh wait a minute, that's the Nitro Switch box. Oh no, I could have finally done it on my first try. And now I'm going to spend 100 goes doing it now. Luckily I didn't. I did it on the second try, but that was still really, really annoying. We'll see that one, because I'll showcase me getting it, because I still break all the boxes and I get the gem in the level. So that's the run we're going to see, and then I'll cut to when I actually hit the Nitro Switch box. We can see that one. But then it's like in Ghost Town, I just leaned to the side for no real reason and went right over the Nitro Switch crate. I don't know why. Alright, Ice Station Bandicoots. We are suddenly racing a polar bear on a magic carpet. Alright, as you can see, it's Rings of Power from Crash 3. Only we're on the copter pack instead of the plane. And getting the Platinum Relic here is so much better, because I hated getting the Platinum Relic in Rings of Power. It might be the Insane Trilogy. I don't know what it's like to do on regular Crash 3, because in the Insane Trilogy, the new controls for the plane made Rings of Power really annoying. With the whole speed spinning through the rings to make sure you're going fast enough. It did make that level really annoying. As you can see, everything is a lot closer to you, which does make it surprisingly easy to get a bit too close to the Nitro crates. Luckily, I think every single box in this level is converted into a time box. But a number of these would be Nitro crates, and I have so many close calls. But yeah, both Ghost Town and Ice Station Bandicoot, the races are so pathetically easy that most of the time I just forget that I'm even in a race. Like, all I'm worried about is breaking all the boxes and getting to the end. And in that case, going through all the rings. I completely forget that I'm even involved in a race. So that polar bear is there, and it's such an odd thing. I think you can find like early screenshots of the level that showcase that it was originally an on-foot level, or at least a partially on-foot level. Or maybe it was just some like early terrain build just to make sure the controls work, I don't know. But yeah, the polar bear on the magic carpet just comes out of nowhere. Why am I racing a polar bear on a flying carpet? I mean, we have flying carpets in the Arabian levels in Crash 3, but why is there now a polar bear riding on one? It's just such an odd thing to suddenly have. Anyway, Solar Bowler. This is our final atmosphere level. And, well, the main difficulty that comes from this is the fact that there are no fences. You can very easily run off this level, or roll off this level. Technically, you're doing both. Down to your death. And there's quite a few areas where the path splits off in multiple directions. Sometimes the path leads to a dead end. Sometimes it loops back around. Here, for example, you want to take the left path because the other two are just going to loop round. And one of them is filled with nitro crates. And since it loops round, the other one is also going to be filled with nitro crates. Come on, Crash! Pretty sure I used up all the time just by getting back up there. Yeah, there's quite a few tight corners here. I mean, it's the last atmosphere level. It's going to be the hardest one. And as the level now splits off in two directions, I don't know if one direction is better than the other. Both have crates, both become time boxes. Either way works. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it really makes a difference on what direction you go in. But yeah, it's a very short level. Its length is mostly extended by the amount of times where there's like a path that leads to a dead end, but there's crates on that dead end. Or it goes into two different pathways, and both of those pathways will have boxes on it. That's basically what extends Solar Bowler. Otherwise, it's a much shorter level than just about all of them, really. With the exception of maybe Bamboozled, it's otherwise a very simple level. Like I said, these are such short and quick levels. Despite the fact that you have to get all of the platinum, well, most of the platinum relics in order to get them. You don't need to get these platinum relics, I don't think. I think you only need the gems in order to finish the game. That wasn't the case in Crash 3, and in Insane Trilogy Crash 3, it's very strange how it all works. But you really don't need to get that much in this level. Not in this level. They're not much, these levels. They're very short. Nighttime is the biggest one, and that's just the Gauntlet again. This one, on the other hand, can be the most annoying box gem in the game, and I'm so disappointed with myself that I went right past the freaking Nitro Switch box after breaking all of the boxes on my first try. But getting the Platinum Relic is, again, very easy for this level. The skiers are your biggest problem in this level. Forget the Nitro Crates. The skiers are your main hazard. Oh no, I missed it. Yeah, the skiers are your main issue, because sometimes their placements can be really cheap. And trying to get that jump, that's another tricky one. That's the hardest box in the level right there. Because not only do I need to make sure I get the timing of my jump right, I think it's the only time the speed is required. Like that skier right there. I hate the placement of that one. But you also can't see Coco when she's going up the ramps. I think I'll jump back up here now. But yeah, otherwise this is a very simple level. It's just annoying to get the box gem in. So whatever you do, when you're going for the box gem, don't hold accelerate. Apart from maybe that first ramp where I think it might be required, it's otherwise never needed. So don't hold accelerate. We'll get more into that later. There's that Nitro Switch box that I now hate so much. Oh, I hate myself, not the Nitro Switch box. And that is our final Platinum Relic in the game. As you can see, they are so much easier. Again, a few of them can be a bit annoying. Gold Rush, the Gauntlets, Banzai Bonsai. I don't mind it too much now, but it used to be one of my least favourites. Cortex Vortex, Droid Void, Coral Canyon. I think that's everyone. Yeah, they can all be annoying, but for the most part, they're really not that big of an issue. So now, we get to go through all these levels again, but collecting everything this time. So, I will see you guys then.